Hi there YouTubers, today I'll be showing how to repair the recoil on a 10 horsepower Tecumseh engine. So here's another engine here with the same recoil. So some of the 8 horsepower engines up to 11.5 engines may have the same recoil as that. Now what you're going to have to do is remove the 4 nuts that hold the recoil to the cowling, and there are 3/8, and use a deep socket to do that. So once the nuts are off, just pull it off. Now I'm going to grab the recoil, pull the rope out, and just snip it. Now I'll just let it go back in. We know the spring is good because when I turn it counterclockwise, it springs back the other way. So now you want to grab the end of the rope here and pull it out. Or you can go in and snip it in there. And then make sure you pull out the rest of the rope. Now the rope that was in there is actually a bit too big. It's probably a number 7, and I usually use a number 5.5 in those recoils. Some of the old recoils you can also use a number 6. What happens is if you use a rope that's too big, you can't get enough loops around the recoil here, and the rope gets caught between this thing here and the casing, and then you can't put as much rope in there as you would like. Now make sure you've melted the tip of your rope so that it's not all frayed at the end. Grab the recoil assembly and roll this out so the holes here meet each other. Then insert your rope through the hole here. You can also use needle nose pliers to push the rope in like that, and you'll see it come out over here. Now grab the rope inside here, pull it out. Make sure you've made a good knot over here, and again melt the tip of your rope so that it's not all frayed. The next thing to do is grab the end of the rope, insert it into the hole where the handle goes, just like that. Pull it out the other end. Take note of where this hole is here on the recoil. Turn this whole assembly counterclockwise so that it meets over here. Now grab a little hook like this and fish out the line. Now what you need to do is insert your rope into this hole here. If you find the hole's a bit too small, you can always cut a chunk off with your X-Acto. Just like that. Sometimes there's not even a hole here on this thing, so you can heat up a screwdriver or something and melt a hole on the side. Now stick the rope in the hole and wind this whole mechanism about 3-4 times counterclockwise. Now pull on the rope like that and let it go back in. Make sure you have the other end in your hand so it doesn't wind itself back into the recoil. Now at this point, before the rope goes back in, you can tie on your handle. Make a really good knot. If you want to make double sure it's on real tight, you can always put it in the vise and then pull on it. Now your rope's going to go back in like that. Now try your recoil really good. If you find it doesn't come back as quick as you'd like, I'll show you how to make that tighter. So the spring needs to be wound a bit tighter, so I'm going to pull the rope out a bit like that. Then fish out the rope over here again. Make sure I've got the hole on the rewind mechanism lined up. Right here. Once you've got the rope in, turn one full turn counterclockwise like that. Now once you've done a full revolution, pull the rope back out and let it go back in. Now test it out, make sure you're happy with how stiff the spring is. And this seems pretty good. Now it's also good to lubricate the recoil parts. This is basically just transmission oil. Or you could also use liquid wrench. It's going to lubricate the parts and make it smoother. Once you've got it back together and lubricated, it's ready to be installed on your snowblower. So now line up the recoil in like this. Remember to point the handle toward the fuel tank. And now just install 4 nuts. So once you've got it on, you want to make sure it works good and that it goes back in all the way. Now I'll give it a good test by starting it. Usually these machines start with 1 pull. Anyways, it's always good to have the recoil in good order. It's nice to use the electric starter as well. Now I do want to mention again before I close off that it's really important to use the proper size of rope. Always match up the rope that was in your recoil, then you're sure you're not going to get a problem because of the rope. When you do this kind of job, take your time because it can be very frustrating if you've never done it before. You may have to try again a few times to get it right, but I'm sure you will. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.